Welcome to this tutorial where we're going to be exploring our relative rectangle coordinates. In our previous tutorial we looked at the absolute coordinates, where in the absolute coordinates our coordinates for our points were always in relation to the origin. So for example, point A would have been 20, 10. Point B would have been 60, 10. Notice that these are in relation starting from 0, our origin. In our relative rectangle, however, the points are identified in relation to our last point. Let's see what we mean by that. Let's try to draw this figure using our relative rectangle coordinates system. It says we are to start at point A, and the coordinates at point A is 20, 10. So we select our polyline. When prompted by AutoCAD to specify our start point, let's give 20, 10 and give enter. Our drawing has started at that coordinate. In relation to A, however, point B, notice, is at, and that's a thing in the relative coordinate system. To indicate that you are measuring from your last point, the symbol at has to begin the command. And so it is at 40 in our x direction. And notice, we are still at 10. Sorry, we are at 0 rather in our y direction. So let's give 0 and give enter. Notice our line has been drawn because we have moved 40 units in our x direction, and we have still not moved in our y direction. To get to C, notice we are still have to type at, and this is 30 in the x, Notice that to get to C, we are not moving in terms of x. Notice we are moving directly vertical, and so our x value in this case is going to be 0, and our y value in this case is going to be 30. Give enter, and our line would have been drawn. To get from point C to point D, now notice we have an x value, which is positive 10, so it's at 10, but we have no y values, and so that's going to be 0. Give enter. Our line has been drawn. To get to E, again it's at. Now notice from D to E, there is no movement in x, so our x value is going to be 0, and our y value here is going to be 20, enter. For point F, however, notice we have an x value. So let's go at, we have an x value, but this time our x value is moving to our left. Now to our left are negative values. So this time we give negative 20 for our x value because we are heading to the left. And our y value in this case is going to be 0. Give enter. If we had given our x value to be 20, then we would have gotten a line being drawn heading to the right. Alright? So negative values head to the right, head to the left, positive values head to the right. In terms of our y values, positive values head up, negative values are downwards. Now to get to point G from point F, notice we have no x values, so it's going to be at 0, comma, and because we are going down 10 units in our y value, it's going to be negative 10. Enter. We have our point G. To get to point H, let's go at. Notice we have a value of 30 in our y, but we are heading in the left direction. So it has to be negative 30. We have no y movements because we are moving perfectly flat. And so that is going to be 0. Sorry. Comma. 0. Enter. We have our line. We are now at H. And to get back to point A, notice we have no x movements to get from H to A. So we're moving at 0 for our x values. And we do have a y value, but it's going down. So it's going to be negative 40. We give enter. It takes us back to A. We can give enter or escape to exit the command. Our drawing again has been produced using our relative rectangle coordinates. We should now be able to type the commands or the list of commands to get us around from A back to A. It says already, for starters, we start at 20, 10. To get to B, it is going to be at our x value is going to be 40 and our y value is going to be 0 because we only moved in a horizontal direction. There was no vertical movements. To get from C, to get to C, it's going to be at. Now notice from B to C, there is no horizontal movements. And so our x value is going to be 0. And our y value is going to be 30. To get from C to D, notice, let's go at, we have an x value, which is 10. But our line did not deviate upwards or downwards. So there is no y movements. Let's go 0. To get to E, let's go at. Notice to get from D to E, it was a vertical movement. So there was 0 horizontal and there was 20 vertical. To get from E to F, we had horizontal movement, which was negative 20. We had no vertical movement, so we have 0. To get to G, we had no horizontal movements, so that was 0. But we had vertical going down in the value of negative 10. To get to H, we had horizontal movements to the left in negative 30. We had no vertical movement, so that's going to be 0. And to get back to A, let's go at. There was no horizontal movements there, so it's going to be 0. We had vertical movements going down at negative 40, and that would have completed our drawing. And so this is the list of commands required to complete the shape as shown in the diagram using our relative rectangle coordinates. I hope this video helped, and please join for our next video tutorials.